I know we have a lot of members, 8,000 that work in public housing, and some of them were not fed during the storm.
I believe that.
Some of them were not fed immediately after the storm. They said they don't mind working, but they're hungry. And they went without food, and some of them went without water. But they stayed there, and they were performing their duties. And these are the employees that are asked to sacrifice. And these are the employees that are scapegoated. And these are the employees that everyone wants to balance their budgets off of. How do you feel when you hear that?
Well, you know, after the past 2 years of you know, I think the newspaper's favorite sport of the day was beating up on public employees, beating up on the federal government, beating up on agencies like FEMA. It takes a crisis like this, I think, to remind people of just how important a functioning government is and how important the federal government can be. Because right now, the most coordinated effort really is coming from the federal government, from the Obama administration. And, you know, you have public employees, as you pointed out, who are out there working. Many of them are working, you know, double shifts, trying to, you know, to respond to this and trying to provide relief to people who are affected by it. Every agency, every city agency, the employees, not necessarily the agency heads. I have to tell you, I've seen very little coordination at the top, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to nitpick because I think everybody cares. They want to do a good job at this. But what's missing is somebody really in charge of the relief effort to direct everyone, and that seems
There's
to
no
be
point person.
Right. It doesn't exactly.
There's no general.
And it's possible that this is unprecedented, but at the same time, you have people who are in crisis, and they want answers. See, when you're in crisis, what you want is answers. You want information. Information becomes gold in a situation like this, and information is not available to people, and that's what's frustrating them. Whether it's when is my lights going to come back on, when can I go back to my home, when is my elevator going to be working, when is life going to get back to normal? And we may not be able to answer those questions, but we should be able to answer some of them, and that's what's frustrating people. If we simply just clean this up, you know, pay out the insurance payments to people, give the FEMA assistance, allow people to rebuild, you know, basically sheetrock your house and put your new roof on, and we go back to doing what we did and we don't make any changes, we are asking for trouble because we'll be rebuilding these communities again in a few years. It used to be there was the 100-year flood, then it was the 25-year flood. Well, now it seems to be the 24-month flood. We can't afford to do this over and over again. The only thing I would like to say to everyone is we really, you know, those of us who represent Staten Island and Coney Island, we really appreciate the output, the level of support, the relief efforts that are coming from ordinary citizens every day, you know, average people who really don't have much more themselves, but they want to help. And that means so much to us because, you know what, this is devastating to so many people, but when you realize that there's somebody there offering their hand to you, offering you a hot meal and a pair of socks, that, you know, it makes all the difference in the world.